Hello, Cats and Kittens, say Yaroshku. Welcome back to the Crisis Corner on Manga Monday. We are back. I am back giving my impressions of One Piece chapters. This particular chapter, One Piece chapter 1063, My Only Family. This chapter is pretty quick, so I'll try to make my impressions equally as quick. Um, we're continuing with the adventures of the crew on Egghead Island. We're not getting back to the Zoro side, where the last we saw with Zoro, he was about to make a demand of the Lilith Dr. Vegapunk. We'll get to that later, apparently. So we're back on the Luffy side, where Luffy, Chopper, and Bonnie have gorged themselves on the replicator food. It is a little funny gag in the second panel where the Atlas Vegapunk says, all of you have stuffed yourselves because they've inflated, the anime gag when you eat, you blow up in size. And Jinbei says, no, I always look like that. That's kind of funny, quick gag right there. But this bit mainly revolves around the encounter with the pacifista. Up until that point, they run into a clothing replicator, which Luffy bumps into accidentally, and it makes him some clothes, and this futuristic clothes, which is, I'm always going with this in terms of the need for them to have new outfits, except for the fact that it might inspire a new clothes line, I guess. Yeah, because in terms of then battle-wise, there's no real need for the outfits to change. Climate-wise, I don't think there's a whole lot of need for the outfits to change. It seems like, I don't know. Bonnie's outfit, she said she put in for combat gear. She wanted to program the clothes replicator for combat gear, but she got what looks like toy line type situation because they don't look like nothing that you wear to fight anybody. Same with Chopper, man. I mean, this is like, I don't know if this is just for toys or whatever. Jinbei got a Hawaiian outfit. That's weird. Anyway, like I say, the updated the clothing thing looks to me. I mean, I don't see it serving any significance or any real significance, except for maybe toys, I guess. Let me know what you think. That's just my guess. Anyway, so they're going on about their business, and Luffy spots the Kuma pacifist. Last he's heard of Kuma, he basically defended the Sunday for 2 years. So the actual Kuma, he would owe a debt, but I guess he can just tell that this is a pacifist. I mean, and he uses future sight to see that the pacifist is about to rush. So at this point, it's battle, it's combat, But and the pacifist does get a laser cannon shot off. But before Luffy can retaliate, Bonnie interrupts, basically kicks him out of the way or interrupts his elephant gun. And it looks like it was a standard elephant gun. No advanced armament hockey or any Conqueror's hockey laid into it. So I'm assuming he thinks that would be enough to put the pacifist down, which it should. The last time before the pacifist, he one-shotted it with less than that, to be honest with you. He hit him with a jet pistol or something and destroyed it. So this, I guess he figures that's an equal response. Hit him with an elephant gun, and that should be the end of the fight. Bonnie interrupts and lays out the bombshell to the crew. That's my daddy. So they put two and one together. They get the two. The person that she was talking about in the last chapter, when she said Vegapunk turned her father into robot, the android, or whatever. Now she tells him flat out, my father was Kuma. So they're in a bit of a quandary here because if they're not going to attack this pacifista because it looks like Kuma, what are you going to do? So we kind of stuck on a cliffhanger where they're being attacked, but they just got to run at that point. So they're running from it. That's when we jump off with them. They're running from this pacifista. One thing I neglected to speak on in the last chapter was the fact that Bonnie had mentioned that she ran into Sabo at the reverie. She's brought it up and dismissed it quickly. So that's something also that has to be dealt with. She's running around with knowledge likely of what happened to Sabo, which she doesn't think is of much consequence. Otherwise, she would have brought it up. I mean, she has to know that Sabo and Luffy are, adopted brothers. And some knowledge of what happened to Sabo would be of interest to Luffy, but Oda just had her bring it up and dismiss it quickly. So that was weird, but there's that. So that's hanging in the air too. So the only other part of the story is the second act, where we run into the Law Pirates, or the Heart Pirates, being attacked by the Blackbeard Pirates. And this does not look good. See, the thing is with the worst generation, or a lot of pirate crews in general, of course with the Straw Hats, since there's a set number, 10 basically, 10, 11, 10, whatever, we know everybody that's on the crew, their abilities, blah, blah, blah. We don't get that amount of knowledge with the majority of the other crews that are out there. I mean, to a certain extent, we know some people that's on Shank's crew, but we don't know that much about them or how highly they are respected in the pirate world. But when we get to the worst generation, with the exception of now the Blackbeard pirates, we learned a lot about them in this chapter, and not many other crews do we know about the depth of their talent level. Who they have on their crew, who should be feared, who's whatever, who's world renowned, whatever. Okay, so Blackbeard's going in on Law and his crew, and we get basically the layout of the devil fruits involved in Blackbeard's crew. Some of them, some of these people, his officers or his commanders or whatever, we know of, to a certain degree. But I'm assuming, being the calculating person that he is, Blackbeard brought with him to attack whoever he knew he was going to come in contact with, either Luffy, Law, or Kid. And he was going to rob Luffy, Law, or Kid of their poneglyphs, if not kill them outright. So he would bring crew members commensurate to execute that task. That's my assumption. So he figured that he could roll in with these level of cats to rob in either of those three crews. I am not aware that he would need half of the talent level that he brought with him to take out Law's crew. Because Law, he got a bunch of jags, as far as I know, just guys. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they don't have anybody of note in terms of strength. At least Kid had Killer, and Killer was one of the, supernovas. So that's pretty much equivalent to Luffy rolling with Zoro. You got to do this elite level fighter, renowned, known. I ain't got nothing as far as I'm concerned. Anybody to be worried about? So it looks like overkill. It looks like these guys are dead. I mean, just look at some of these devil fruits. You got Doc Hugh. He got the sick fruit. He turned their whole. He was about to turn their whole crew into women, which is, like they say that women are worthless. Me, I'm just saying it's a weird thing. If somebody turn you into a woman, it'd probably be hard for you to fight the way you regularly do because you'd be so absorbed. It'd be weird. That's all I'm saying. You wouldn't be able to function at your top. Even if you was a woman that got turned into a man, that you'd be kind of consumed with that and fighting with also. It would make it kind of queer things to the point where it make it hard. That's all I'm saying. So Doc Hugh, he was turning there. He could apparently he can inflict any illness that he wants on a foe. All right, that's one. You got Van Ogre, a teleporter, so he can teleport his people wherever he needs to teleport. You got Jesus or Jesus Burgess, superhuman strength, picked up a mountain and threw it at these cats. All right, we got Blackbeard. He got 2 devil fruits. All right, you also have Stronger, the horse, which is a flying horse. You can see the horse fruit, mythical type, model Pegasus. I think Blackbeard probably could have took out. I mean, he could have. He could have just 1v1 their whole crew and take them. Well, we put it like this: Blackbeard and Law, I think, is a good fight. I'm not gonna sleep on Law. Law, he's a beast. He put in his work and Wano and all of that. The rest of the crew is just the Jags, man. They're just dudes. They're just guys. So they ain't done nothing of note that I can think of. So, okay, so he escapes being turned into a woman because he realized fighting against Kaido that strong hockey can overcome devil fruit abilities, just like the fact that he couldn't use his abilities on Big Mom and Kaido to teleport them away because their hockey was too strong. So he uses his hockey to break free of being turned into a woman and return to being a dude. And apparently, the way it's described, the antibodies from him doing that changed his crew back into dudes as well. Okay. So they dodged that bullet. But they can't escape the Blackbeard pirates. And the best thing they can do is take their stand on the island. He's got his crew with him when they go to the island. But then they're confronted by the Blackbeard pirates. Burgess throws a mountain at him. He uses his his devil fruit ability to essentially slice up the mountain, saves them from that. And then it's just down to the confrontation, which is, I don't know if it's going to be off screen. Kind of like when Blackbeard jumped, Blackbeard Ace, most of that, it was on screen, but the conclusion was off screen. But I don't know if he's going to do something similar to that, but if he's going to do something similar to that. But this is a major confrontation. This is right after Wano. I mean, at this point, I don't think the Law is tired from the effects of the Wano fight. I think he's healed up. He's, pretty much at his peak right now. But he's fighting against some pretty strong devil fruit users. And to his credit, in that last panel, he looks like, hey, this guy wants to rob me. I want to rob him. It's on. Let's do this. You know what I'm saying? But I don't think he understands that he don't have nobody at his back. Because he got Jags. You know what I'm saying? He got nobody. These cats have no notoriety. They have done nothing. So I don't know how he thinks he's going to get out of this. Lord, we might have to light a candle for this dude. He might be done. You know what I mean? He might. And now there's another thing. If he gets murdered, man, and Blackbeard gets his hand on that devil food, that's problems, man. But I don't think he's going to get killed. I don't think he's going to get killed. I mean, Oda can do what he wants, but I wouldn't kill Law right now, which makes this confrontation interesting. I don't know. But all I'm saying is that as presented, it seems, unless this is going to be a hype amp for the Law, he's done. He can't be done with the crew that he has. He can, maybe he'll abandon his crew, they'll get murdered, and then he'll say it with the stress. Because he got no shot, man. He got no shot. He got the weakest crew of the three, of Luffy, Law, and Kid. He got the weakest crew. His Devil Fruit's type. I think his Devil Fruit is superior to Kid. But I don't think he can beat Blackbeard's crew being hampered by having to protect those losers that he's rolling with. So I don't know how this is going to go. He could lose his. I guess it comes down to how much further in the story is Law supposed to go. Is he going to be around at the end? Is he actually going to be in a competition to find the One Piece, or is he going to get murdered now and then Luffy had to try to avenge him as well as the other people that Blackbeard screwed over. So this is weird. I mean, not weird. It's a good twist because I didn't see this coming. I don't know who saw this coming, but it's on now. And to be continued, no break. I don't think there's any break this week. So it's on. Blackbeard Pirates versus Law. You notice I didn't say the Hot Pirates because they might be dead already. This is interesting. Interesting twist on there. Interesting twist. So let me know if you think that these guys have a chance. I don't think they do. On paper, they should be already dead. But we'll see what happens in a couple of days because this looks grim. And I don't see anybody coming to help these dudes. They ain't like Shanks going to show up and help them. Shanks or Rayleigh or anybody else is going to show up and help them. They're on their own. Either Law is going to demonstrate himself to be matter of fact, not necessarily, because Law has demonstrated himself to be a strong opponent. His crew has to level up now. Is Oda going to give his crew a push and make them notable? Or is he going to get off screen and then we're just going to see his head on the pike or, whatever. I don't know. Let me know what you think. But I am looking forward to see how this gets resolved. So that's it for Manga Monday. Until next time, stay with us.